What's up with your bad selves, ladies and dudes? It's Jeremy, this guy, one of your very favorite people with Parkinson's, here to answer your questions. Now, I promised you kind of that my lovely lady friend Naomi would be on camera. She has declined the opportunity to be on such a prestigious YouTube channel. Just kidding. But she is here. She's going to read me your comments and questions from last week's video and ask me anything. So, Naomi, what I want you to do is first read who the question's from, and then read me the question, and then I'll go from there.
Okay, from Life with Parkinson.
It's David Gebhardt. Check him out.
Based on your experience so far, what advice would you give someone newly diagnosed with Parkinson's?
Be careful what you watch on YouTube. I'm sure Naomi, if she was on camera, could attest to the fact that we can see some really horrible things on YouTube. You can also see some really positive things. So limit your intake of what the negativity that you see, because if you want a horror story, you will find it. So that would be probably my first clue, or my first piece of advice. Just be careful what you watch on YouTube. Next question.
From Janine Hill.
What's up, Janine?
How old were you when you first started performing in your musical career?
About 17. I was in the church band. That's 17-ish, 16, 17-ish. Yeah, I had a red electric guitar. I got it for Christmas one year. That was the first time I was ever on stage, per se. So yeah, what? Any more to that question?
She wanted to know what instruments you play.
Play the guitar and the bass, and I took sitar lessons for a couple years. I didn't really play that on stage, but yeah, just guitar and bass. I used to noodle around with the piano a little bit, but Parkinson's has kind of limited my ability on that. So,
did you go on tour, and did your band release any albums?
No, I do have some music. I was in a cover band. For those you don't know what that is, it's just a band that plays other people's songs for money, which was a lot of fun. But no, we didn't go on tour or anything. We did play on stage about once every couple weeks or so on weekends. I do have some videos of some of my music on this YouTube channel if you look back through, and I'll also put up a link in the description to some of my music on Spotify.
Okay, she also wants to know, what are your favorite bands?
We got to go with the Beatles, right? Everybody loves the Beatles. That's sort of the beginning and end. In fact, if we have any more musical questions, I'm sure that they will be brought up again. I love Oasis. I'm a big Slayer fan. Devil. I like a lot of stuff. Frank Sinatra. You name it, I probably got a record of it or a CD of it, and probably listen to it. I don't know that much about new country, but I do like the old country, like Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Conway Twitty, that type of stuff.
Okay, Janine's last question is, what is the best concert you've been to?
You were probably there. It was probably Aerosmith.
That was a good concert.
Aerosmith or Tom Petty. Those are the two. I saw Radiohead. They were really good. And I saw The Who with my buddy Sam. But I got to say, Aerosmith. And I'm not even the world's biggest Aerosmith fan, but Aerosmith and Tom Petty just home run for me. All right, what you got?
Okay.
You get some water.
From Billy Bob.
What's up, Billy Bob?
As the husband and father, how do you battle the mental struggles of your times?
Lots of therapy. No joke. Get a therapist. If you got Parkinson's, you need to talk about it with somebody besides your spouse and your friends. Your friends and your spouse won't be able to relate to your struggles. Get a therapist. Meditation, exercise. Those are the three things.
He also asked if you ever seclude yourself during those times.
All the time. In fact, I did this morning. I wasn't feeling good. There's a lot of stress going on. My son's talking to me. Liam, we're doing a video up here. I'll leave that in. Yeah, you got to seclude yourself. You need that space sometimes when you're symptomatic or you're just feeling really off. You got to, because otherwise you're going to take it out on those around you, and that's not a good thing.
Okay, next question is from Matthew McLaurin.
What's up, Matt? Matty Mac?
He is just starting to transition into retirement at 39, and he has a fear of losing his identity.
Very real fear. I retired basically when I was 38. I still struggle with that, honestly. I mean, I did a video called Who Am I Now? I used to be a Teamster, used to work 40 hours a week. Now I'm a stay-at-home dad. It's a struggle. I mean, I would say it's different for everybody, but you got to find the things that you love that you can still do and hold on to those and don't let them go. Also, I would say don't be too hard on yourself if you can't work. It's not your fault, and I beat myself up, still do sometimes, for not being able to work. Just take it one day at a time, and you're going to be a different person than you were before. Just accept that, but don't feel negatively about yourself because of that.
Okay, next question is from Jack McLaurin.
Jack Mac.
Yeah, he said from Jack Mac.
Yep, Jack Mac.
How do you cope wondering what tomorrow will bring? Do you take a one day at a time approach?
I can't think about it. I can't think about tomorrow. I really don't. I used to be somebody who thought decades ahead. Now I think hours ahead. I think a dose ahead. It's really hard for me to think about the future because it's so uncertain and cloudy. Like Yoda said, cloudy the future is. So can't think about it too much, bro. It's scary. It's scary for anybody, but just there's a balance between being aware of the future but living in the present.
Okay, BE8709
Okay.
asked, if you met Michael J. Fox, what would you ask him?
It would not be a Parkinson's question. I'm sure that dude is sick and tired of answering Parkinson's questions. I would probably ask him about his guitar collection, honestly. I know he's talked about a really expensive Gibson Les Paul, I think, that his wife bought him. And in fact, in some of the interviews, you can see it leaning against the back wall. I would ask him about his guitars. No Back to the Future, no Parkinson's questions.
Okay, next question is from Parkinson's Wiggles Project.
Oh, it's Jennifer. Hey, what's up, Jen?
Okay, if you're stranded on an island, but you happen to have a record player and electricity, what 5 albums would you want to have with you?
Well, everybody wants a record player on a desert island. But you gotta hope the sand doesn't get in the needle because it'll ruin your records. I talked about the Beatles. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, for me, was the beginning of my really passionate affair with recording and playing music. I played before, but that really amped it up. Now, I'm not going to be too obscure here, folks. I'm going to just kind of give you the albums I've listened to over and over. Back in Black, AC/DC. The best guitars recorded on any album ever. Back in Black. Number 3 would probably be What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis. That was another seminal album for me that made me go, I think I can play and write music. If these guys can do it, I dig their sound, I think I can do it. 4 would be probably a Pink Floyd album, either Animals or Wish You Were Here. I think probably Wish You Were Here would probably be better for a desert island. I'm just guessing. And then what would my 5th album be? Well, I've got some rock. I'd probably pick Frank Sinatra's Come Fly With Me. That would be I can imagine I'm flying off the island. So there you go. 5 albums. Cinco.
Okay, A. Sheehan.
That's Anne. I believe her name is Anne.
Every day is different with Parkinson's. How do you stay so positive?
I don't.
True.
I'm very negative a lot of the times. When you see me on here, you're seeing me at my best. I very rarely turn on the camera when I'm feeling like doo-doo. And you just heard my wife say, I am negative a lot. Now, I'm kind of going through a rough patch right now, but I feel like I'm negative more than I'm positive. But once again, therapy. You got to have somebody to talk to, and you can't just pee in the ear of your wife and friends and expect them to be able to listen to it and deal with it. Therapy, meditation. If I'm feeling blue, I turn on some good music. That's simple. I would like to say I'm positive all the time, but I'm actually not. Next. How many more we got?
Let's see here. From Paul Hayden.
What's up, Paul?
Do you find that playing your guitar helps ease your symptoms?
No, it makes them worse. My dyskinesia gets all crazy when I play. It's the most frustrating thing. Now, I can sit down because I cross my legs. I can still play my sitar. Not great or anything, but no, I can't hardly play anymore. It's a very frustrating experience. Now, didn't he say he played drums or something?
Yeah.
Oh God, I would be a mess on a drum kit. I can't. I used to have the greatest sense of rhythm and timing. Not now. I can barely even snap my fingers in time now, unfortunately. Sorry.
Jack McLaurin asked another question.
Jack
he
Mac.
threw in there. Jack Mac. He wanted to know your thoughts on stem cell therapy.
I gotta be careful how I answer this one. I would like it to be a miracle, and it was advertised that way at first, but it appears that, from what I've read anyway, and I don't quote me on this, but the estimated arrival date of that is they have really no clear date when that'll be available. It's still in clinical trials. I know was 10, 15 years ago, they're like, stem cells are going to save us all. Well, turns out putting brain cells into a brain and growing them and making them gel and not have the body not reject them or get infected or just function, it's a lot harder than they would think. So don't quote me on that. Do your own research, but that's my opinion.
Okay, we got some more music questions.
All right.
Mike Felch.
Mike?
He lists his favorite rock bands of all time. They
Okay.
are Queen, Beatles, Eagles, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Styx, CCR, ZZ Top, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, and Aerosmith. He wants you to rank your greatest rock bands of all time.
Well, it's nice to see CCR in there because they don't get a lot of. They're a great band with some great music, and they had a lot of off the stage issues. The only band of that you quoted that I've never really got into was Styx. I would say Black Sabbath has got to be on that list, definitely. And I actually grew up in the '90s, so I'm going to list some '90s bands: Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots. I talked about Oasis. Rage Against the Machine, Alice in Chains, 9 Inch Nails. But yeah, as far as classic rock, I think you got it all covered. But I would add Black Sabbath to that mix there. Oh, and then Tom Petty. Can't forget Tom Petty. All right, how much more we got?
Okay, one more, but
One more.
I think you're going to do a whole video on this, though. Kristen Voigt.
Kristen, yeah.
She wants your helpful Parkinson's tips for making everyday life easier. You got a whole video series on that. You're gonna.
Well, Kristen, I tell you what. Thank you for the question, and my lovely lady friend is right. I need to do a whole video on that. So stay tuned to this channel because my wife has actually been bugging me. She's like, "Come on, when are you going to do your helpful tips? When are you going to stop whining about your life?" No, just kidding. She kind of made a sigh over there. So yeah, I stay tuned, Kristen. That's all I got to say. So that's all we got.
That's it.
Thank you so much for your questions. We'll have to do this again sometime, folks. Till next time, peace and love from the humid city of St. Louis and my beautiful deck.